it look like if we had an algorithmic accountability tax that could go into an algorithmic accountability fund? If you did a 0.5% tax on, I think it's G-Mafia, I think you would have gotten $4.4 billion. So this would not only allow more research dollars than, say, the $7.3 million that Amazon gave to NSF, which is only 0.03% of their entire research spend for 2018, but real money that could go towards public interest research.
Could you talk about some of the risks and possibly opportunities? Maybe you see more of the risks associated with technology and law enforcement. For example, Amazon's Ring, which started out as like a consumer security device, which now seems to be turning into a lot of integrations with police municipalities.
Yeah, so one of the major issues we have with a situation like Ring is just any kind of meaningful transparency. And as somebody who started out as a technologist, I used to be like, why do we need regulation? We're going to figure this out. Enough data, we got this. People are generally good. As I've been doing more of this work, I've seen that if you have that approach and you do the moral outsourcing of we build a system, other people will figure it out, we're not necessarily safeguarding humanity. And if we care about making sure that the technology we create is positioned to do as much good as possible, it means being transparent. And so when I see an operation like Ring, where to my understanding, Amazon is not sharing who's using it or how the tools are being implemented, and we're seeing, at least when I talk to organizations like ACLU, data from Ring being then given to police departments, then being used to target individuals, it has real world consequences. So it's understandable somebody might want to have a security system for their home, but we have to think about the ecosystem and what that means for civil liberties, what it means for privacy as well. Thank you for your question. Oh, we got more hands. Lady in the back.
Hi, thank you for your talk. So I liked your point about we need to protect public interest research. What do you think are the avenues that we should look to develop, like who is funding that kind of research and making sure that it isn't influenced by companies funding those groups?
Absolutely. I believe in getting money from companies and something called taxes. So what I've proposed, I proposed this to the House Space Science and Technology Committee this summer, which was what would it look like if we had an algorithmic accountability tax that could go into an algorithmic accountability fund? If you did a 0.5% tax on, I think it's G-Mafia, your Googles, and the rest, I think you would have gotten $4.4 billion. And there's the Algorithmic Accountability Act that has actually, it has stipulations for companies that would be considered those who are using AI systems in robust enough ways that could impact society. So this would not only allow more research dollars than, say, the $7.3 million that Amazon gave to NSF, which is only 0.03% of their entire research spend for 2018, but real money that could go towards public interest research, but could also go towards redress, because it's not just enough to do research to reveal harms. We also need mechanisms to redress harms as well. All right, I think we have one question in the front, and I think it's the last question.
Navrina Singh, past build AI products with companies like Microsoft and Qualcomm. So Joy, great presentation. Earlier in the day, the conversation between Eric and Mariche, there was a very interesting, I would say, tension between the two. As a technologist, which I appreciated.
There were some tensions. Some tensions.
So, and a point that was brought up was, for us to be able to put laws in place that actually make sense for this new world, the lawmaker should understand technology, but the other side of the equation is the technologist should understand the ethics and other principles as well. So I'm wondering, in your work, what have you found are going to be these future collaboration models between these two stakeholders, so that there's a, first and foremost, better understanding of technology, but also better understanding of citizen needs, so that the laws that you're putting in place actually work for this world?
What I'm seeing as I'm having these conversations is another crucial missing part, right? So we're talking about tech companies, we're talking about lawmakers, but we're not talking about the people who are actually impacted by these systems. And so what would it look like to have community review boards, right, who are part of the process, not just as a reactive, we got to do our little diversity and inclusion show because we messed up, but from the beginning of the system, right? And so this is something I keep thinking about. What would it look like to have participatory AI, where marginalized voices are actually centered? I don't know exactly what those steps are, but I keep seeing that as being a crucial missing piece, because we come together as experts with our degrees and the rest of it, talking about other people's problems instead of bringing those people to be in conversation with us. So if we can do more of that, I think it'll help us get closer to a place where we all have an understanding, because it's not just policy makers understanding AI. All of society needs to understand it as well. Thank you.
Everyone turn on your facial recognition block. We're here to make a planet. Can't nobody stop us.